let's make lemonade. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Find your next vehicle today at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and, of course, leave your comments in the comment section. And you can always call the show at 515-517-2303. Happy New Year's Eve. Ross Peterson, and bringing in today for a 2-hour appearance, Justin Miller.
I'd like to thank Travis, my mom, my dad for this opportunity.
Your brother?
You're not going to thank Jesus Christ? You're not going to thank Jesus Christ for giving you the opportunity?
With that being said,
you are, have you noticed, Ross, that Justin is turning into a media whore? He is doing the best he can in the new year. It must be an early resolution, or a New Year's resolution, is that he's turning into a media whore in some way, because he wants his Media Row podcast to grow, understandably, right? And so he cons us into, hey, guys, if you pay me, I'll do this for you. And you've done a good job. I'm not going to say a great job. We'll have a performance review coming up.
Here we go.
Well,
I love it.
For a big butt.
Yeah.
I can grow.
Yeah, you can grow. And then, he's on the Bucket Show the other day with Iowa. I mean, he is now, next thing you know, he's going to end up over there at KXNO again doing something like, hey, let's go to our Drake expert, Justin Miller.
That would be really cool. That's exactly how that should go down. It's exactly how that should happen. Good for you. Okay,
are you setting up?
It's not a New Year's resolution, Trav. I've tried to be this media whore for about 5.5 years now.
I've been trying. I'm just now finally getting on my back. I'm just now getting on my back. Can you
make it look real effortful?
I do have a question for you. Are you still looking for jobs? Like, are you still applying for jobs like in radio, television, web? Are you still out there looking for a full-time gig?
I still look, yeah, and I've applied to a couple of things. It's just it's
frustrating.
Tough.
It's depressing, and it's almost bad for your mental health to just beat your head against that employment wall, man. I've seen that with a lot of people. Justin, good luck to you, buddy.
And I appreciate that. And like, you guys have been a huge help. I mean, being a part of this show, it's not only I'm able to pay bills and have that out of my conscience, but it just fulfills me too. If like, I get to be back with the guys and doing something I love. And like the social media side of things, I've really learned I love it. Like, I would love to make that another side gig of where I'll be a social media whore for other companies too. Of like, let me go out and
Eli loves reminding me that he likes your TikToks better than he likes Travis and I's.
That's fine. Well, Justin does our TikTok, and we get a lot more views than Justin does.
Actually, Justin's got one with like 100. Eli was going through him last night, bragging on you.
I got one.
Crazy.
He's got
one that blew up, and I still don't know how. I don't know what I did.
Right.
I've tried to replicate it, and I get less views and less views when I do that.
Ride the wave. It's okay.
But our TikTok, which I don't even know how to do TikTok. That's what Justin's for. Has been pretty consistent. We're talking 5, 6, 8, 10,000 views on most of our videos, which is weird. And you know what else is kind of weird? The YouTube Shorts has gone up lately. I'm not a big YouTube Shorts guy, because the same thing as Instagram Reels and all this other stuff. And you're like, oh, wow. So
that's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for, man. That's what you're here for. But the one thing I heard there is that you're paying bills. If you're paying bills off what we're paying you, you don't have many big bills.
Well, I helped him get land the gig with not only the Grandview Golf Course mowing gig, which was at least helped him put some money in on the table. More importantly than that, he got to meet and hang out with and become friends with John Walling.
Dude, John's awesome.
I love one of the most incredible humans.
I think I called you after my first day at Grandview and was like, hey, just worked with your buddy John. and might be the nicest human being I've ever met.
He's incredible. Yep. So I'm glad. So yeah, glad you're here, Justin. Glad to have you along on the final day of 2025. I can't believe how many people are with us at 6 a.m. and because I'm already going through, like we were talking before we came on, what are our plans for tonight? And I'm like, man, I better get a nap in because I'm about an 8 p.m. 8:30. I'm like, oh man, I'm seeing blurry. I gotta go to bed. So I'm gonna need a 3.5, 4 hour nap today to get to midnight. Or is everybody else in the group just planning on not making it to midnight?
Dude, I haven't made it to midnight in years, and I just can't do it anymore. I'm an old man. I am literally an old man, and I took today off, and I took Friday off because Abigail and Will and Sutton, they're leaving today, so it's going to be sad to see my granddaughter go. But we've got the Iowa game coming up at 11. We're going to talk about that. You've got the Nebraska game at 2. You've got the college football playoff game tonight. You know, there's just so much going on. So I'm doing this show. Then we have the Black and Gold Rush right after the Iowa game. And then I might be doing my Doc Talk. We might be doing a live show after. I might be doing 3 live call-in shows today.
All right.
And so I'll stay busy.
And I'm a media whore?
Yeah, but it's all my own media. So there's a difference there. There's a difference there.
Okay. Pimp, ho. I get it. I'm...
Yeah, I'm the pimp. I'm the pimp. I am the pimp. Justin, I do have a question for you when it comes to your bills.
Yeah.
Do you have student loans?
Well, so I'm on the whatever is like the lowest payment for student loans.
So you do have student loans,
but it's frozen right now. Like I can't.
Really?
Yeah, it's been frozen for like 8 months, and I called and I was like, so I can pay still, right? So I'm not getting screwed over by like interest.
Interest accruing?
Yeah. And they're like, no, you can't. Like, you can give us money. We can't put it towards anything. It is frozen because of, I guess there's some sort of Supreme Court thing still discussing student loans, and it's part of the lower one I picked.
Oh, because my daughter has, and that's probably with the United States government, right? Do you have any private student loans?
No.
Okay,
no.
So, you know, my kids had to go through, you know, it's not that I could afford all these colleges. I said, hey, if you're going to go out of state, you've got to put skin in the game. We've had to use Sally Mae, right? But the whole plan is to refinance those loans when they're done and put it into one lump sum, and then you pay it off in 10 or 15 years, whatever that is. I've never heard of this. Owen refinanced his loan just fine. Abigail refinanced her loan just fine. Mary's in the process of refinancing her loan. She's just kind of shopping rates right now. And she called a company. This is predatory. This pissed me off. And the fact that, like, hey, we're going to give you this rate. It was like 4.95%, which is pretty good. But we need you not to pay your current student loan for 4 months. We want you to go into default. It's going to ruin your credit score, and it's going to ruin your cosigner, my credit score. But then we can get you this rate because you qualify this plan. I said, Mary, you're not letting these go into default. You're not letting my credit score go down. You're not letting your credit score go down. You're better off paying a 1% higher interest rate and refinance with SoFi and not do that. I'm like, if somebody tells you to default on a loan, they are just absolutely stupid and predatory. Ticks me off. But I just didn't know what your student loan situation was.
No, I need to, what I need to do is maybe see if I can get myself out of that one and get a new one so I don't get screwed over in 2 years when they're finally like, all right, we figured out our issues, the U.S. government. And then I'm like sitting there with now huge loans. The good thing is like I was able to pay off college as I was going, so it's not a whole lot, but it is still, it's enough to stress me out, that's for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be stressed out is if that interest was accruing. You should call them and say, hey, is this interest growing? Because that would scare me. Go ahead.
I was going to I have two fun stories for you guys that I just found while the opening of the show was playing. I found 2 funny stories.
Let's do it.
One of them is like near nightmare fuel. Okay. It's from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Altoona police say a local man is behind bars after he allegedly threatened a utility worker and attempted to steal his truck while the victim was still inside the bucket. A utility worker was in one of those bucket trucks. You know what I mean? You drive up. You've seen this. It's got the bucket on the back with the arm. He's in the bucket. Some dude comes running up to him and is like, points a gun at him and says, empty your pocket, get out of the bucket, empty your pockets, or I'm going to empty the clip on you. Well, the dude's like, no, I'm not getting out of the bucket. And the way I understand it is maybe even tried to maybe even raise the bucket to get away from the guy. So the guy decided, well, screw it. I'll just take the truck. I'll just get in the truck and drive away with the dude in the bucket. Apparently, I don't know. The truck it disables when the bucket is elevated, apparently.
Okay.
He wasn't able to steal the truck. Cops were able to arrest the guy. But that's near nightmare fuel. Like, I never thought about how vulnerable you are when you're in one of those buckets. If you're all by yourself, out in a rural area, up in that bucket, what do you do?
Hey, I'm fixing a light pole here.
Come out of the bucket, empty your pockets. No.
Catch me.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not doing that.
And that would make sense that if the boom arm is up, that the truck is disabled from moving. That makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Hey, John, move it a couple inches. Move me over. Can't. It's disabled.
All right, from the always reputable world of horse racing, whatever, horse doping. Horse racing. Prominent horse trainer points to trespassers near the Albuquerque racetrack after racehorse tests positive for meth. Wait for this.
Does meth have the same effect on a horse as it does a human?
Yeah, that's why they test for it.
Can you imagine that? Yeah, I know, but can you imagine the horse with its hoof just start scratching? That horse is tweaking.
No, it's the flies. As the guy's standing there with the syringe. No, it's flies.
Man, that your horse loses teeth in the starting gate.
Yeah, we can't put the reins in. We can't put the biter in.
All gum.
Why not?
It's all gum. What's going on here?
He's bleeding by the end of the race because there's no teeth, and that metal thing is just up against. Horse gets done and goes, give me a shot. All
right, this Albuquerque horse race ends, and the horse that finishes in second place at the American Quarter Horse Association Race Challenge at the Downs of Albuquerque. Finishes in second place. They test him, and he is found to have meth in his system. And the trainer, who's a prominent trainer, according to this article, says that it's the homeless people that they allow to live in the horse barns that are giving the horses the meth, because homeless people are always known to give away their drugs.
There ain't no homeless dude giving away meth. I mean, that's just not happening.
Here's the other tell. All right, guys. The horse's name is Jay's on Fire.
Yes, he is. Do you have to? You've seen the movies where the meth heads inject it in between their toes. Do they now give the shot to the horse in the hoof?
That's heroin, isn't it?
I don't know. You can smoke meth. I think you can inject meth. Ray, let us know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I think you smoke meth. I don't know. I don't want to know, but that
either do I.
All right.
Thanks for cheering us up this morning, Russ.
Yeah, there you go. Jay's on Fire. I love it. You name your horse. We smoke joints. And then when they're like, hey, we think you're doping your horse, you're like, what?
No. It's homeless people.
You guys saw the homeless people giving out the meth, right?
So it's the homeless people they allowed to stay in the barn.
He claims that there are homeless people that are around the barn.
Okay.
And that one of them got in, picked Jay's on Fire, who finished second.
And gave it meth.
With no teeth and a scratchy hoof.
It is New Year's Eve. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to be doing the Rush Radio Top 10 Sports Stories in the state of Iowa. Not the top 10 of what we talked about this year, but what we found to be the top 10 sports stories in the state of Iowa. We'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour. But before that, don't forget the Black and Gold Rush coming up right after the Iowa game today as they take on Vanderbilt. And that's an 11 o'clock kickoff, guys. Here's actually something I was a little shocked about. This is the first ever meeting between Iowa and Vanderbilt. First ever meeting between these two schools. Does that surprise you a little bit? I mean, when you look at the history and never meeting in a bowl game, never hooking up once in a non-conference preseason game, doesn't surprise you?
Not really. That didn't jump out as me as super strange. I mean, hell, Iowa only gets to play conference opponents once every 6 or 7 years sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
That stuff doesn't blow me away.
And also for me, like, I guess I have a shorter time span when I think about these teams' history, but like Vandy just has never been a football school, a good football school. So I don't know. I just wouldn't expect them to be in a bowl game for the most part.
It's pretty simple. You could sit there and try to analyze this game, what needs to take place. For Iowa, it's be Iowa, right? Run the football, control the line of scrimmage, play the field position game. Defensively, it's contain Diego Pavia. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to.
You know what it seems to me like the storyline for this game is? That Iowa doesn't have guys sitting out.
You're right.
That's been something that I've talked about with friends. I've seen a lot of people comment about that, or that seems to me to be one of the storylines of like, man, whatever it is, Kirk Ferentz is really keeping his guys engaged. This group, they're really together. I don't know what cliche you put on it, but that's a fact. In a world when a lot of guys are sitting out, Hawkeyes just have avoided this turmoil. Is this the calm before the storm? Does this mean early January is going to be insane? I don't know.
With your comment right there, and this is going to transition into something, and this is an original thought by me. I was actually watching a show this morning, and they brought this up. We haven't paid much attention to bowl games until like right now. But if you look at last night, you had Illinois and Tennessee. You had what was the other game? USC and TCU. Ross, you mentioned that Iowa doesn't have any guys sitting out. I think Vanderbilt has one guy sitting out. Their tight end decided the other day that he wasn't going to play. Do these bowl games, we've kind of made fun of bowl games saying they don't matter anymore. But do the bowl games matter when you get to the better contests like we saw last night with TCU and USC? We saw with Tennessee and Illinois. We've got Iowa, Vanderbilt. We've got better, more marquee names. And if Iowa doesn't have any guys sitting out, Vanderbilt has one guy sitting out. You have Pavia who's playing, who finished second in the Heisman voting. It's not that they're going to lay down and not try to play this game or let it be an exhibition. Does the higher quality of bowl game matter when it comes to bowl season?
When you say matter, do you just mean does it get our attention?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I think that the answer to that, does it get more of our attention? Yeah, we're more interested in watching. Of those 3 games yesterday, I didn't give a crap about Coastal Carolina, Louisiana Tech.
Either did I.
I don't remember where I was, and the game was on, and I was kind of for a few seconds popping my eyes up to it and back down and off, and don't care, don't know anybody there, don't want. Tennessee, Illinois amps up a little bit, right? USC TCU goes up a little bit higher. Yeah, you're right, Travis. Our interest level, the better the competition or more relevant the teams are to us, I guess.
Well, and I think if you look at the Illinois game, Tennessee, the USC TCU game, they may not matter in the college football, hierarchy world. But you look at the way they were played, like, oh, these guys cared. I mean, they wanted to win that thing last night.
And folks that have been passionate about the Big 12 not being the dismay conference that it's been portrayed as in football this year can point to games like that and go, wait, TCU beat USC. Now, what does it matter? What will it change? Does that mean next year in the middle of the college football season, people are going to go, wait a minute, we got to give the Big 12 cred. Remember TCU beat USC last year? Nobody on ESPN's. If they say that, they'll get laughed off the stage. So what does it, I mean, again, like do these games matter more? No. Do we care more? Yeah. Somebody wrote in there and said, you want these games to matter? Just put money on them. That's how you get these games to care. That's how you get to care about these games. Throw some dollars on one of them.
Well, and I want to avoid sounding like a hypocrite later on, and that is I don't want to go into, I mean, if Iowa loses today, I think I'm going to be, I want to treat it like it would be a regular loss in the way they play and everything. I don't want to have them lose, go, it's just a bowl game. It doesn't matter anyway, right? I want to make sure because if you're bringing everybody back, nobody's sitting, you've got your team. I expect Iowa to play or at least be competitive like it was against USC, like it was against Oregon. I want them to be in this football. If they get blown out like they did in 2014 against Tennessee, I don't want to go, well, it's just a bowl game. It doesn't matter anyway. I'm setting my own emotion up and I'm not saying that I was going to lose, because if they win, I'd be like, hey, they just beat Vanderbilt.
Right.
Look at the teams that Vanderbilt beat, and you had one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Yeah. They were able to do that to them. I don't want to go if they get beat. Well, that's just a bowl game. It didn't matter anyway. Just a glorified vacation.
I feel like as soon as this game is over, you start thinking about next year. I feel like the reaction to the bowl game is almost always about what this means for next year. And that's, Travis, I don't like, Hawkeyes are losing a lot. A lot. And so I think that our show tonight, win or lose, is going to be about that. Is going to be about what does this team really look like? What are predictions for next year? What's the quarterback situation look like? What are you hoping the quarterback situation looks like? What do you hope these next couple of weeks look like? Is there something in the transfer portal that the Hawkeyes should be looking for? Are there certain players that you don't want to lose? I mean, my reaction to today, this is why I'm not a gambler anyway. I'd never gamble on a bowl game.
No,
never, because you have no idea what mental state these guys are in. I mean, Travis, the Hawkeyes have a lot of guys that this is their last time they put the uniform on. What's that going to mean? It'd be great. Maybe we'll get Kluver on later today, and he can talk to us about that. What does that mean when you? Do you guys remember the last time you put a uniform on or took it off? More importantly, I knew the last time I took off a baseball uniform that it mattered, that I knew I wasn't going to play organized baseball ever again. And dude, I sat in that uniform till about 2 a.m. I knew it was a chapter of my life. And I was in high school, but I loved baseball. I loved it so much. And I knew this is it. This is the last time. I take this uniform off. I never put one on that matters again. I never put one on that I'm going to be sliding into second base again.
I don't remember it because when I left Tri-Center Neola, my whole plan was to play baseball at Grandview, right? I was going to go to Grandview and play baseball. And so, I'm like, I'm moving on to college. I'm going to play college baseball. Then I got to college and I'm like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. It was just one of those things where you just kind of saw everything, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this for 4 years. And I decided in my freshman year when I talked to Lou Yasnich, and I said, hey, I just kind of said, I'm not going to play. And so I never appreciated that last time I took a uniform off. I don't remember the last time I took a football uniform off because I probably threw like 4 interceptions that game and couldn't get out of there fast enough.
I thought maybe you were going to say you don't remember because you had a concussion or something like that.
No.
Couldn't get out of that thing fast.
I remember throwing the 4 picks. I don't remember taking the uniform off.
But it had the velocity to catch the attention of a college baseball scout.
Well, I mean, I was a decent baseball player. I'm not looking back. I was decent. I wasn't probably as good as I thought I was.
Yassin's such a positive guy. They're like, what'd you think about his 4 interceptions? He said, he can hit the cutoff man.
That's right. That's right. And Justin doesn't remember the last time he took off a uniform. Or did you ever wear a uniform?
It was Thursday. What are you talking about? It was look at him.
Yeah, I played basketball, and so it was probably my junior year. Summer league was the last time. Our final tournament in Kansas, where I got to. I tell people I was scouted by Bill Self, Patrick Ewing, because they were all there. And my mom has a fantastic photo that I think I used as my cover photo on Facebook for like the longest time, where I'm shooting a free throw and all those coaches are behind me, like Hall of Fame coaches, but they're all watching the court the other way. So I'm shooting the free throw and they're all looking this way.
Guys, look at me. Look at me.
Look at what I could do. If you need a man out there to hit one free throw, I got you.
If you could go back and do it again, would you do that free throw like Will Ferrell in Semi-Pro just to get their attention? Would you like grab the ball and go?
It is New Year's Eve. That means tomorrow is the start of 2026. If you're looking for a new house, new condo, new townhome in 2026, Ross Peterson's the man you want to call. But when you need a loan for that property, you want to call Gary Presnall. He's a mortgage banker with Northwest Bank, financing residential homes the last 25 years. He can get you approved in less than 30 minutes and can happen after hours, during the week, and even on weekends. Gary is the best, as he's been the state's top producing mortgage banker for the past 7 years.
The man, love him much. Got a closing with Gary coming up next week, 2 weeks, something like that.
See? Smart realtors use Gary Presnall because they get their clients approved and in homes. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Bad gift giving. It happens to the best of us.
Thanks, I think.
But what if I told you there's a better way? Toss the silly socks and ditch the mediocre mugs, because the Iowa Lottery's gift that keeps on winning is here to save the holidays. Give your loved ones holiday scratch tickets with the chance to win instantly or unwrap your share of $1 million. Say no, no, no to boring presents with the Iowa Lottery this holiday season. Woohoo! Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnall, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This holiday season, unwrap incredible savings from Willis Nissan. Drive home a brand new Nissan Rogue or Nissan Sentra with special holiday lease offers designed to fit your budget and your wish list. Looking for the perfect gift for the whole family? Enjoy 0% APR financing on the stunning Nissan Pathfinder and the unparalleled Nissan Murano, making it easier than ever to upgrade your sleigh. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willisnissan.com.
Hey, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. This holiday season, give the gift of sparkle that lasts a lifetime. From our latest designs to timeless favorites, there's something for everyone on your list. Already have a Fiscus diamond? Bring it in and trade up with our 100% trade up program. It's the perfect way to shine a little brighter this year. And if you're dreaming up something custom, get your design started by December 1st for Christmas delivery. Let's make this season magical together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis.
Well, that got out of there real quick. Hey, crack open your favorite Coca-Cola, Sprite, Dasani water, Powerade, or even Body Armor. The ones you love are delivered right here to Iowa by Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company, keeping your thirst refreshed every single day. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. I'm Travis Justice. Ross Peterson will be joining us in a second. He must be taking a dump. And Justin Miller's hanging out with us. Don't forget, the Iowa game kicks off at 11 o'clock today, taking on Vanderbilt. The Black and Gold Rush live call-in show right after the game. So make sure to join us right here at therushladio.com or on our YouTube channel. We'll be taking your phone calls, talking about that game, and breaking down what Iowa does against the Commodores. So I know it's early, but heading into 2026, we had a couple bowl games last night. You had USC losing to TCU. You had Tennessee losing to Illinois. I know it's early, but would you guys agree with me that Lincoln Riley is now on the hot seat, even though they finished 9-4, and Josh Heupel is even on the hot seat?
Did I read it correctly that Tennessee didn't beat a single team with a winning record?
I don't believe it did. I think you're right on that.
That's crazy. But, yeah, both are on the hot seat.
You're talking about two major brands in college football. You're talking about two major brands that have won national titles in the past. Two major programs that invested heavily, one in their coach. Tennessee has invested heavily in NIL in getting players. And everybody's going to be different. Like, I look at Brett Bielema in it right now, right? Illinois finished 9-4. The second straight year with 9 wins. Illinois is the new Iowa, right? It's like, okay, they're going to give you 8, 9 wins.
By they're the new Iowa, that's what you mean, right? They're going to be that 8, 9 win,
yes,
tough out. They're the Lenny Dykstra of the league all of a sudden. That's yeah, Travis, I think that's fair. I mean, Bielema has replicated what Kirk Ferentz that I think that's fair. They're the new Iowa, or they are a new Iowa. I don't like the new Iowa because that implies that they've supplanted. They've replaced Iowa.
Yeah,
words are hard. So I don't know if I'd go with the new Iowa. They're a new version of Iowa. I think that's fair. Yeah, I like that. Lincoln Riley on the hot seat. Let's start there and then go to Heupel, because first of all, like you said, we put both those names together, man, and you realize how quickly you go from being the coaching darling, how quickly this wheel of fortune turns, and where you go from being the golden goose on the lake to being on the spit roast, and everybody's chanting and cheering while you're cooking over the flame. You go from being the prized possession to everybody hates you, and get this guy out of town as quick as we can. Both of those guys at one point in time in the last couple of years were can't miss, back up the money truck, do whatever you can. If you get this guy, you're guaranteed something.
There are no guarantees. There just aren't any guarantees.
Man, there's so much going through me. Let's start with Lincoln Riley. I want to get around to the SEC because I saw somebody put in the thing, SEC is trash. I think speaking of the cycle, I know ESPN owns the SEC and they're going to continue to promote it as though it's the greatest thing in the world. We all know that there's a different thing that has to happen with a team. You have to have chemistry. You can stack up all the talent you want, and it does make a difference. It makes a big difference. But if your team doesn't play together, then you get stuff like this. You get, how did TCU beat USC? USC could have been a playoff team. TCU beat them? Yeah. How does Tennessee lose to Illinois? How's that happen? You can throw all the money at it you want. It helps. It helps a lot. You got to have a team. Lincoln Riley, the hot seat at USC. Yeah, Trav, I think that's fair. That he is probably on the way out there if he doesn't turn things around real quick. I mean, he's not getting fired this offseason. You don't mean that.
No. I'm saying going into 2026, you now, okay, and we've had people say, hey, he's got a great recruiting class. That's great. You can't expect freshmen to produce for you at a very high level and win a national. Some freshmen would be great, but for the most part, your class is going to need time to grow. And who knows what Lincoln Riley loses in the portal when it opens up on January 2nd. He's lost players in the portal before. And
real tough schedule next year for USC. Brutal.
I haven't seen it. What is it?
First, the non-con games are Fresno State, Louisiana, Raging Cajuns. Get those out of the way. And these games are to be determined. So it just listed as this. They play at Indiana. They play at Penn State. They host Oregon. They host Ohio State. They play at Rutgers. They play at UCLA. They host Maryland. They host Washington. They play at Wisconsin. They play at Indiana, at Penn State. They host Ohio State. They host Oregon.
That's brutal, man.
I mean, right
that
there,
is brutal.
at least 3 out of the 4, I think you can chalk up as losses. Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State. I mean, that one's kind of up in the air. Washington is up in the air, though, too, because that's a good team. The thing with Riley, is he on the hot seat, too, because the one thing he still hasn't figured out is defense. I mean, what bit them in the butt last night?
Defense can't wrap up a guy? Yeah.
Defensive fundamentals. Why did they lose all these close games this year and get knocked out of the college football playoff talk? Was because of their defense. And I know they had some injuries with that secondary too, but that's been his thing. With Oklahoma, they were like, man, this team can put up 45 points a game with Murray and with Baker and all those great talents they had on the offensive side, but they never could play defense. Is that part of it too?
Absolutely, it's part of it because you need both sides of the ball to be consistent. And if you lose football games, you got to look to see. And he's gone through, I think, a couple defensive coordinators. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Brent. Brent, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
Hello. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
All right, buddy.
My way into work. Yeah, I was just going to say, with Lincoln Riley and USC, obviously it piques my interest, and you guys were talking about that. I'm just not sold he's a great coach. He kind of seems like a Cliff Kingsbury, like a great OC, but not a great coach. Does that make sense?
Oh, what a wonderful, another guy that was at one point the greatest coach, up and coming, newest thing, going to reinvent football, Cliff Kingsbury. That's a good one, Brent. I like that.
Yeah. Cause I mean, obviously they beat us, so I'm not, trying to be a sore loser about that. They had great, some great talent, especially on the offensive side. They had some very tall receivers and made great catches. Remember that the quarterback was pretty solid, but the rest, their overall play wasn't all that great. Does that make sense? It feels like, Lincoln is good at that kind of stuff. Throwing the ball to the tall receivers and that type. where you have mismatches, but it didn't feel like his overall gameplay was anything to write home about. I just kind of see that when I watch his teams play. They're not sound defensively. Their special teams are so. They just kind of play one side of the ball. Like they kind of play a certain way on that side of the ball too. So I don't know. Maybe he'll be successful, but I'm not super impressed. I think he's more in that mold of a great OC, not a great head coach.
Would you agree with us, Brent, that he's on the hot seat going into 2026?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to meet expectations. Honestly, I mean they expect to be in the playoffs. They have a proud history, right? And they paid him a lot of money, right? Didn't they do like a 10-year?
Oh yeah,
shoot, it was at least $100 million. I mean, this is probably about year 4, maybe somewhere in there.
Year 4. Yep, won 11 games in 22, 8 in 23, 7 in 24, and then 9 games this year. And that's the thing, man. So 9 years as a head coach, he has won 11 or 12 games in 5 of those seasons.
All at Oklahoma, right?
No, he had the 11-win season at USC. He had one 11-win season at USC, but he's gone 11, 8, 7, and now 9 in the win column at USC.
Yeah, I agree, but those are 2 like very name brand programs with a lot of resources behind them. You can debate like which one has more type of thing. I always say, what if you place that Lincoln Riley on a mid-level Big 10 or Big 12 team? Is he winning that many games or not? You know what I'm saying? With his program, that I don't know. The money matters the most. I think money's number one, but then the head coach comes in. That's where you've got your gameplay, a coach that's really disciplined about playing all 3 phases of football, right? That makes a difference. So they play strong defense, strong special teams, in addition to having at least an adequate to good offense. And then he just seems like he's kind of a one-trick pony. Kind of like what I would say, kind of like Fram basketball, right? Fram basketball is fantastic and fun, but it's all about running and shooting threes, and we didn't really do much else around that to really support that, right? So if that wasn't working one night, then we're going to lose the game. That's kind of why I see Lincoln Riley too.
Good stuff, Brent. Thanks for the phone call. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you guys too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Hey, we're on later with the Black and Gold Rush. We expect to hear from you.
Expect. I always say something like, I hope to hear from you.
No, I expect to hear from Brent.
It's wild. I love how different we are on stuff like that. I wish I were more like you. You know what? I really wish I were like you when it came to just stuff, life. So I didn't have to call you for all the advice.
Well, he was.
What type of light bulb do I buy for my house?
Yellow. Don't put a white light in your living room.
It's New Year's Eve, and I'm spending the entire night with Courtney. Don't get it started right now, okay?
Drew says, what time is the Black and Gold Rush? Drew, as soon as the game ends, Ross and I will be live here at therushradio.com and on our YouTube channel. So as soon as the game ends, we will be live. He mentioned defense. Where did Indiana make its biggest improvement this year? It was defense. Their defense is completely different than
and quarterback. But yes.
But they got to
yes, quarterback. You're right. Or I guess sorry, defense. You're right.
Why were they able to beat Ohio State? Because of their defense, right? I mean, they last year, everybody thought they were a one-trick pony, and when they got beat in the playoff, you're like, oh, you didn't have the defense. He went and got defensive guys this year, and you're like, oh, okay, that changed a little bit. So yeah, Lincoln Riley, but that 10-year deal and the guaranteed money when you fire somebody. Going to cost you $50 million.
I saw someone comment this, and I think it's I was trying to find it, but they were talking about how Cignetti has changed athletic directors' outlook because now you are like, USC, we should be there.
It's not fair. And if you're an athletic director looking at Curt Cignetti and expecting the same results, you are in for a pipe dream.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. And it's an outlier. It is the exception. It is not the rule. You got lucky. You found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what he's the leprechaun with the pot of gold. You're like, that really existed. It doesn't happen in college football. College basketball, you could see it. College football, no frickin' way would I count on that.
It's such a one-hit wonder. Like all of the pieces came together. All of the pieces. You had the money, you had the opportunity, you had this who knew sleeping giant. It all and then the guy that had the attitude to wake it up and recruit the kids and identify the talent and the experience. It was a perfect storm of stuff. It's a one-hit wonder. It's the Chumbawamba to tub thumping. What it is.
But I'm kind of with the listener in thinking, I don't think it's crazy to say that now athletic directors and fans are going to start expecting that.
They do. And again, look at Iowa State, guys. We look past TJ Otzelberger. We look right past what he did up there in 1 year. Now, it's again different monster with basketball and football. That's why Curt Cignetti is lifted up on such a national platform for an amazing turnaround from and also Indiana football.
Which nobody cared about.
Nobody cared about for decades. Was not Iowa State basketball, which was nationally relevant, had a bad year. And a new coach had to come in, turn that roster over, and did amazing stuff with it. They are different. I understand that. But I do think that it happens. In NCAA 2020 and beyond, it can happen. You can turn things around very, very quickly with the right people and the right opportunities and all that stuff.
You also have to be a bit of a savant. And I look at Curt Cignetti as a bit of a savant. And meaning he knew the right pieces from guys you never heard of to come in and put them together and create a chemistry that was. He knew they had the talent. He evaluated correctly. He almost probably played Moneyball with these guys, looking at their metrics and said, okay, you guys can play at the Big Ten level. Again, they were really good last year. Once they got to the playoff, they were exposed a little bit. They're a lot better this year than they were last year.
Berger writes in and says, waiting for the Cignetti slide to begin. I'm not rooting for it yet. I'm not rooting. I like this story. I want him to win a national title. I want Indiana to win a national title. So fans like Iowa fans can stand up and go, it's possible. We are here. We are here. We are here. We can do that. I want Indiana to win the national title.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury, we could go on and on of the list of coaches that were going to be, who's ever going to beat blank? Curt Cignetti. It'll happen. And someday I'll probably be rooting for it too.
I'm kind of with you, Ross, in the fact that I do want Curt Cignetti to win a national title because we've always heard you can't do that here because of just of location, all sorts of stuff. Don't give me Bloomington, Indiana is not the football mecca of the world. All right. It's not. And if you can do it, then you can, if you can do it in Bloomington, Indiana, you can do it in Iowa City, Iowa. You can do it in Ames, Iowa. Right. Yep. And that's kind of why I want that narrative to change. Well, you have to be a blue blood. You know, Lincoln Riley takes more shit because he's at USC. That's a program. Right? The expectation is you are competing for national titles. Indiana, when they hired Curt Cignetti, you know what they said? Can you get us to a bowl game in like 2 or 3 years? Can you get us to a bowl game? That's really what it was. Can you make us respectable?
I wonder what that conversation was. What are your expectations? What do you want from me? What do you guys think success is? What do you think the response was? Get a bowl game? Have a winning record?
Don't lose to Ohio State and Oregon by 45?
But 50, I was going to say 50. Anyway.
I mean, does he say, I'm here to win a national title? And then the AD goes, okay. You know. But I could see Curt Cignetti saying that. Well, aren't you hiring me to win a national title? And if the answer is, that's my expectation.
And honestly, I can see the AD going, no, I'm not hiring you to win a national title. If you did that, that'd be freaking amazing and unbelievable. Or did the AD go, hey, here's the thing nobody knows. I'm sitting on Mark Cuban. I got all this.
Maybe.
Cash. I got all this cash. Think you got a guy that can do this? That might have been it. That's probably it. These guys are way more competitive than we give them credit for. Way more competitive.
But think about it. I think he did it in year one without just a full influx of cash. They became more competitive in year two because they were able to go get Mendoza.
Great talent identifier, no doubt about that, Trav. And can keep that talent. This isn't the man. It's another skill. As much as I hate Urban Meyer, the thing that guy was great at was managing egos. Was getting everybody together that were headed in all sorts of crazy directions and get them going in the same path for a period of time.
Yeah, the fact you look at that Florida team, we
it's
have
unreal.
Tim Tebow and then like
Aaron
other
Hernandez.
guys that probably went to jail at some point in their career.
Aaron Hernandez, who literally murdered people,
yes,
and then committed suicide. That guy was on the same team as Tim Tebow.
That's a good point.
And Kurt Signetti seems to, at least, because he's brought in all these guys from all different places and to get all of them going in the same direction. Yeah, row the boat type stuff, Berger. You're right. Right.
Row the boat.
Rowing the boat in the same direction.
It is crazy. I saw the photo of the Rose Bowl. Did you guys see this photo with the end zones now painted? And it is crazy to see Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Not going to lie. That is something like, I feel like the story throughout the season, everyone's now just like, yeah, it's Signetti already in year two. When it's like, no, this is Indiana playing in the Rose Bowl as the #1 overall seed in the college football playoffs.
Indiana is the #1 overall seed in the college football playoffs.
They just beat Ohio State to win the Big Ten title.
Indiana.
Speaking of Ohio State, are they in action today or tonight?
Yep. 6:30 against Miami.
So Ryan Day is calling the plays again, right? Ryan Day is now calling the plays. Of course, when they won the national title, they won with Chip Kelly being the offensive coordinator. Chip Kelly left after 1 year to be the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders offensive coordinator. He was fired. Chip Kelly has resurfaced again in the college game, guys. He's going to Northwestern. Chip Kelly is going to be the Northwestern offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Things that I never thought would come out of my mouth.
Remember
Chip Kelly to Northwestern.
Remember when Les Miles was the head coach at Kansas? Weird things happen, man.
When I saw that, why, like, is there no other jobs for Chip Kelly? I feel like in the college realm, he could pick his job, honestly.
He's done some strange.
Yeah. But, like, this one feels really strange to me. I don't know. Like, there's not a better job out there?
Maybe nobody came calling. Maybe Ryan Day didn't call back and say, hey, do you want your job back? I don't know.
How do you, Trav? I thought you'd have. I thought that you would have something more. I thought this would. You'd have a stronger take on this as far as like the fit, because it seems like a really strange fit as well. When I think of Northwestern, I still think of Pat Fitzgerald. You know what I mean? You think of Darnell Autry. You think of these like reputable. I do. I think of it as a Stanford type of institution.
Because that's what it is. It is a Stanford type of institution. We don't have much expectation out of Northwestern except that they're going to play hard. You know, we don't look at them and go, oh, Northwestern's going to be competing for a national title. Maybe this is Northwestern, who's invested a lot of money into its football program, has one of the best practice facilities. And I don't know if you've seen like the fly-throughs of their new stadium.
It looks beautiful.
It looks incredible.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's
No,
really cool.
I'll
It's
check it
really
out. Actually.
Yeah.
Looks absolutely incredible. And so, and maybe Chip Kelly's the type of guy who says, hey, I don't want to be a head coach anymore. I don't want to dip into this portal. I don't want to be begging kids, re-recruiting kids. I just want to call offensive plays. I respect that. I really do. You know, just to say, hey, I can go be an offensive coordinator. I don't want to deal with the day-to-day stuff that's going to drive me up a wall. Dealing with boosters, dealing with collectives, dealing with agents, dealing with all sorts of stuff. I just thought it was a weird fit. I thought there would be different programs, maybe of a higher stature, that would want Chip Kelly's services. And when I saw Northwestern, I'm like, that's an interesting fit. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out, how long he stays there. But that's a big name to go to Northwestern. And it might be the type of mentorship that he needs as a head coach, meaning, he got thrown into that head coaching gig after Fitzgerald got fired, right? He's like, all of a sudden you come from North Dakota State, then in a minute you're the head coach of a Big Ten program. He's done a good job, but then you go, hey, I need somebody here who's been in my shoes that maybe can mentor me a little bit. So it may be not just an offensive coordinator job as much as it is, hey, mentor me through this head coaching process. But it's a very, very interesting, to say the least, hire by Northwestern.
That's the relationship I think I was most wondering about, and again, kind of defer to your knowledge base because you're much older than me, and I thought that you could. That's exactly what I was thinking, though. That's exactly what I was waiting for you to give to me, was that relationship. If you're the head coach, how do you feel about that move?
I think when you're a young
mentorship of like, hey, you've seen this thing play out. Help me out.
I think this one makes more sense than the Bobby Petrino to North Carolina to work with Bill Belichick. That you're talking egos. Bobby Petrino doesn't give a shit about Bill Belichick, right? I mean, that's the type of ego that guy has, or at least portrays to have. That will be interesting to watch how North Carolina performs with Bill Belichick and Bobby Petrino. That was a weird hire to me.
Yeah, that one just felt like Bill was like, you guys want to see something crazy?
Of course, the Iowa game kicks off at 11 o'clock today. You know what you're going to want to do for the Iowa game? Plus, it's New Year's Eve because you're going to be celebrating. We want you to celebrate safely tonight. If you're going out, you get an Uber, you get a Lyft. If you're going to be drinking at home, you need to run to Central City Liquors tonight or today to stock up. Because if you got plans tonight, make them better with a stop at Central City Liquors. Fantastic prices, huge selection, and specials on all your favorites. Central City Liquors, celebrate New Year's Eve with Central City Liquors. You won't be disappointed. It is the Rush Radio Show. When we come back, the Rush Radio Show top 10 sports stories of 2025. We're going to reveal them next.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Bad gift giving. It happens to the best of us.
Thanks, I think.
But what if I told you there's a better way? Toss the silly socks and ditch the mediocre mugs, because the Iowa Lottery's gift that keeps on winning is here to save the holidays. Give your loved ones holiday scratch tickets with a chance to win instantly or unwrap your share of $1 million. Say no, no, no to boring presents with the Iowa Lottery this holiday season. Woohoo! Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends. The good times never end unless you're just loitering. It's Central City. We can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City. All this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. If you're looking for the perfect gift for your Mini this season, you won't find it under the Christmas tree. What your Mini really wants this holiday season is preventative maintenance. Stop in today so we can make sure your coolant or fuel system are in tip-top order for this holiday season. Please give us a call to schedule your appointment or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Buying a car is one thing, keeping it running is another. That's where Willis Automotive really separates itself. Their service department is top-notch, and they take care of you long after you drive your car off the lot. New or used, sales or service, start at willisauto.com. Willis Automotive, proudly powering the Rush Radio Show. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in this morning. You're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave your comments in the comments section. We've been teasing this all week long. It is New Year's Eve. We're going to end 2026 on the Rush Radio Show with the top 10 sports, or 2025. Thanks for the correction. You can do the corrections live on us now. Job security right there. With the top 10 sports stories in the state of Iowa.
With the graphics and whatnots.
See, you know, I'm not a graphic designer, and you'll see this as we go along. I guess I can put that up there. Yeah, so you'll see this as I go along. I'm not a graphic designer, but I thought it would be some, at least for people watching, a visual representation. Now, to let everybody know, we gave our honorable mentions yesterday, the ones that did not make the top 10. And you will probably see things on here, and we want you to call. We want you to debate with us. We want you to say we're right on. We want you to say we're full of shit. You can do whatever you want.
We're going to have a lot more full of shits than you guys are right on. I promise you that.
Probably.
Because we kind of took a different approach. We really did look at it as kind of the biggest accomplishments, the biggest moments. It's weird because we did not put the football game on there. The Iowa State beating Iowa in football, which is traditionally the biggest sporting event of the year, we didn't put up as a top moment. And the argument against that was just, man, we get that every year. We get a game like that often. And even though, so that was enough for us to say that was our honorable mention yesterday. There are a couple of stories here, including the first one we're going to talk about here, Travis. This will be the first time we've ever mentioned them on the show.
That's true. It's very, very true. And I'm counting on Justin to know more about it than we do. Just because you're young and you run in these circles a little bit more. So here we go. We're going to go from 10 down to 1. We'll do 5 in the first half hour, the next 5 in the last half hour, and we'll have a little bit of fun with this. Again, 515-517-2303. Number 10 in the top 10 sports stories of 2025, the Johnston girls basketball team Right now, people are going, what the hell just happened? They haven't mentioned high school sports ever. But when you dive in and you look at what the Johnston Dragons have done the last really 2 years, but in 2025, downright impressive, including a second straight Class 5A title and back-to-back undefeated seasons. They're currently ranked number 2 in the country, guys.
They have a young lady on their team by the name of Jenica Lewis, who right now is listed as right in that top 25 in the nation for in this senior class. I think she's committed to Notre Dame, Travis. It seems like that's a pretty hard commit. I mean, I know those things can change, but from looking at 24/7 and some of those things that you and I usually don't peruse, she's up there. And then I had mentioned earlier in the week, they are ranked nationally as the number 2 team in the nation in high school girls basketball. How they do those rankings is the question Travis asked that I don't know the answer to, but they are ranked number 2 in the nation, and that's really cool for a Metro team.
Justin, what's their current win streak at? Is it 60 or 61? Because they came into the season at 52. And I think they're either 9-0, and so that would put them at 61. But 61 straight wins is downright impressive. I know they're playing some out-of-state teams. They venture into there. But and somebody put this in earlier, said, well, number 10 was Justin's idea. Got news for you, boys. It was my idea.
That's the that's the craziest thing about this is it is high school sports and women's sports, 2 things Travis hates, and it was his idea. It's crazy.
I need to clarify why we don't talk a lot of high school sports, and this goes back to our old days on the radio. It didn't move the needle. Right? There were some people who said it doesn't matter if it moves the needle, it deserves to be talked about. No. I want to talk about stuff that people want to hear and listen, and you can only go so deep into high school sports. I respect high school sports, but it doesn't really move the needle. You're talking to a very select niche group, right? I mean, there's people outside, but I can recognize when something is important, and I do think this is a sports story that's big. It puts Johnston, it puts Iowa on the national map, being ranked number 2. And so there you go. Number 10, the Johnston girls basketball team. You guys ready for number 9?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
And I thought I had a drum roll or something, but all I have is like I got that. I got that.
No, that's not the vibe.
No, this is not what we're looking for.
Yes. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's like we're going to hear at midnight tonight. We're going to hear a bunch of that. Number 9, Fran McCaffrey fired at Iowa.
Ross, what the hell?
Where's
the sound?
Oh, wait. Oh, that's not the wrong one.
That actually works for this one.
You wanted that for Fran being fired?
Well,
No.
I thought it was just for announcing the top stories. I didn't
see,
know we were doing based on
we don't
stories.
have drum rolls. I thought we had drum rolls.
This was a big deal. He was 15 years as head coach. You're talking about a guy that was the all-time winningest coach in Iowa history. 7 NCAA tournaments. But you know what? The Fran fatigue set in, man.
Big time. Had set in for years. The apathy. Again, watching Iowa beat up lowly non-con teams here in this last month has been exhilarating at times because we had not that we hadn't seen Iowa destroy teams like this. We hadn't seen them play like this. There hadn't been an energy, whatever that X factor is. And I know that there's a lot of tangible things on the court that you can that have made a difference here too. But the fatigue had set in, and it was time for that to happen. But it was a big story. I honestly, this was one that I almost forgot about. I know that sounds weird. It happened in March. It was early it was almost one of those like, oh yeah, it was this year that we went through that. And it is a big deal. He's the winningest coach of all time in Hawkeye basketball history. And And it doesn't seem to be. It isn't missed by many, if anybody.
That you bring up a good point. You're right. Does history look back fondly on Fran McCaffrey, or does it depend on what Ben McCollum does? Because you know, with the way his son has kind of taken shots at Iowa, and Fran, I wouldn't say left here by saying thank you, right? I mean, it wasn't like, hey, thanks for a great 15 years. Is it just like, oh, we're glad you're gone. Thanks for your time. Yeah. You didn't. At times, you embarrassed us with your attitude and your antics, but you didn't get into scandal. You had good players, but is Fran McCaffrey? I mean, let's look at it this way. I'm going to give you. I'm not going to include Ben McCollum in here yet because it's too early. But if I were to say to you, Lute Olson, Tom Davis, George Raveling, Fran McCaffrey. How are you rating those?
In that order.
You're putting Fran ahead of Tom Davis?
I'm sorry. I thought you said, I thought you went, in my mind, you went in, it was.
Oh, okay.
I'd go, yeah, probably. I wasn't around for Lute. It's hard for me to know. It's hard for me to know what that was, but I have to say Lute, Tom, George, Fran.
The dude won 6 NCAA tournament games in 15 years. He's not going to be.
It's not going to remember.
It's not going to be remembered greatly.
No.
His whole 15 years there at Iowa. What's going to be remembered more are not the wins. It's going to be his antics. Him staring down a ref in a Michigan State game.
Exactly right.
It's the embarrassing stuff.
Yep. Chasing down an official in a tunnel.
The Franometer or whatever it was called.
FranCon. If somebody
FranCon. That was it.
I just went past FranCon because I wanted to get back up here because Travis, this was always something that you had mentioned. This is about Beth. This we could have put that. We could have put Beth fires Fran as number 9. That could have Beth Getz could be here at number 9 for that.
And I know we're spending a lot of time on this one, but I will say this, and I think the reason, obviously a big story, because you're talking about a change of a major program at a university in a major conference. The reason people probably don't care, Fran never felt like an Iowan, right? You never felt that he was one of us. Kirk Ferentz, you feel,
boy, that's
you're one of us.
Never connect. We always talked about the connection. What a good way to put it. One of us.
Yeah.
And you can have Ben McCollum. He can get animated on the sideline. He can jump up and down in frustration or excitement. But everyone already has connected to him, it feels like. Way better in 12 games.
Because he's an Iowan. I mean, when you talk about Bruce Pearl coming to your camp and talking to you, and that you were hanging around these, you wanted to be a Hawkeye. That's all it takes, man. And Ben McCollum's one of the most confident guys I've ever talked to. I mean, he's pretty confident, but there's still a humbleness about him, right? It's like, oh, you have this humbleness to you. So, so Fran McCaffrey fired, number 9. Now, number 8. This is going to shock the shit out of people. It really is.
This is where people are going to quit listening.
Give me the horn. Give me the horn. Give me the horn. Give me the horn.
Wait.
Number 8, Don Bosco dominance.
We're like, what?
People are like, 2 high school stories?
This is the last one, I promise.
There was good debate about this. And you're probably looking at our honorable mention yesterday and go, how do you put Don Bosco, a Class 1A wrestling team, in your top 10 and not some of those others we had? I think we had pretty good discussion around this. And that is, you're talking about a team that has set a record with its 7th straight Class 1A team title. That's the longest streak in Iowa history, guys. You've won 7 straight. And think about the wrestling tradition in the state of Iowa and the great wrestling teams, programs, and individual wrestlers that have come through this state. You've won 7 straight, and I don't care what. As a matter of fact, I could make the argument that it's probably harder to do it at a smaller class than it is a bigger class. And hear me out, because when you're at a smaller class, you have a smaller pool to pick from. And I know it's a Catholic school, and you can come in from other places, but you're still talking about limited numbers, and you have athleticism that doesn't always translate or move from year to year. You go to Southeast Polk, and they're great in wrestling, not taking that away, but you have much bigger numbers to work from, right? Doing it at a small school is not an easy thing to do.
It's just been pure, as dominant as Southeast Polk has been. And last year, again, a story that could have been an honorable mention was Southeast Polk's dominance last year in wrestling. They set a record for points scored last year. This is 7 straight state titles in wrestling in the state of Iowa. It deserves a mention. It's been absolute dominance. I'm glad that we were able to get it on the list. This is one I fought for. I like this one a lot because we never mention it. We move on. We talk about so much other stuff, and we focus so much on Iowa and Iowa State. And there's been so many stories, and we're going to have a lot of those coming up here in the next 7. I'm glad that we could get to this and give it a mention and spend a couple of seconds to say tip of the cap to 7 straight state titles.
They had 5 guy too. It's crazy.
They had 5 individual titles, and they also scored 225.5 points, a new 1A record.
Justin,
so there you go.
Pot with Donnie Bosco.
I smoked pot with the Donnie Bosco. It is crazy, and I'm with Trav though in the storyline of like it would be harder with the 1A than at Southeast Polk because seeing it firsthand, those wrestling practices at Southeast Polk, that looked like a pep rally. There were so many different athletes in those practices. It was packed.
All right, give me the horn. Give me the horn, Ross. Give me the horn.
Wait, I'm hitting the wrong button.
You give me applause. All right, number 7. Iowa State wins at Purdue. This is men's college basketball. We had a lot of discussion around this.
You had to remind people that it was men's college basketball. There's the discussion.
No, but Iowa State won 81-58 over Purdue on December 6th, earlier this month. And you're probably going to say, well, it's an early game. It's what does one game really matter when it takes, place outside the NCAA tournament? And this was a significant move the needle, put TJ Otzelberger in a completely different realm of the way people view him.
I would love to sit down with the person that's going to make that argument of like, it was early in the year. Does it really matter? Like, it was the number 1 team, Purdue, and they historically lost against Iowa State. Iowa State dominated them. And to Trav's point, it put Iowa State in that title contender spot, solidified them as a title contender.
I think that the only recency bias in it is actually it goes the other way. Let me make my case here. It gets lost in that weekend of wildly bad news for Iowa State fans that they went on the road and dominated the number 1 team in the country. Purdue has been a powerhouse, perennial powerhouse. The number 1 team in the country, you went there, didn't beat them, you dominate them, like you said, in historic fashion. If that happens the weekend before, this is a top 5 story this is huge. This is something we would have spent a couple of days talking about and sitting in the awe of. But it gets kind of lost in that weekend because it happened right after the Matt Campbell news. I think that the recency bias actually it pushes it down because you go, well, it wasn't even the biggest story of that weekend. You're right. It wasn't because other things happened. And if that game hadn't happened at that moment, I first of all, I think it helped a lot with Iowa State fans to look at this season and go, all right, basketball season is not going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. It's going to be real. We have a real shot at being. We're an elite team now. So this was a no-brainer that Iowa State going on and dominating the number 1 team in the country on the road. That's a huge story.
And here's what really put it in the top 10 for me. If they would have won by 3, well, I might have been, is it a top 10 story? This is what really put it into the top 10 and number 7 for me. The 23-point margin of defeat is tied for the largest home loss by a number one team in NCAA history.
Yeah.
You have to go back to 1995 to find the last time that happened, when Villanova went to UConn and won by 23 points. So it's getting beat at home, it's rare for Purdue, but get a number one team getting beat at home by 23 points is a statement. And and I think it changed, not only that, it changed our view of what Iowa State maybe is what we're expecting them to do in the 2026 NCAA tournament. We went from, you might be a Sweet 16 team to like, you might win the national title. And right now, my feeling is if you're not in the Elite Eight, I'm going to be disappointed. If you're not in the Final Four, I might be disappointed.
That one's tough, but I think that that's the conversation that you can have after that win. That's why it deserves to be up there. Boy, we got some loyal. Just, I want everybody else to do their top 10 list so I can pick on theirs. Okay?
Are they picking on us?
Oh, they hate us, Travis. They really hate Justin.
That's fair. That's a given, though.
In the chat, it's just, ugh.
That's not even an honorable mention. That's just a given.
Everybody's saying Travis jacked for all this because he lives to piss people off. How does this piss you off? How does this piss you off?
It's because Ross brought up how ChatGPT told you guys to purposely
misrank. Yeah. That's what we did.
My God. All right,
man,
number 6. Number 6. Give me the horn, Ross.
Oh my gosh! I can
hard is it?
I can do all the noises at once. Did you know that? Did you know you can do? What's wrong?
You're wrong. You are wrong.
After all of that, the dead silence, and Ross,
I guess
what's wrong?
I guess people are saying your soundboard's not working. I don't know if people can't hear that.
People can't hear it?
I can hear it.
Oh,
okay.
I think it's more like it's not working. It's not the vibe when Ross just misclicks and plays them all at once. It makes people feel like they have soundboard schizophrenia.
All right, number 6 in the Iowa Sports Stories top 10 for 2025. Iowa State beats Iowa in wrestling. And this was big, folks. You have to go back to 2004 was the last time that Iowa State beat Iowa in wrestling. It's been total dominance for the Hawkeyes. And this was Kevin Dresser's first win against the Hawkeyes. You had a packed Hilton Coliseum. I believe it was colder than hell that day. This was a difference maker. You ended dominance for Iowa and shifted the landscape maybe a little bit in the competitive nature of wrestling in the state.
Oh, I just got a note that my computer's going to restart. Oh boy. I don't want to do this. No, I want you to stop this.
Can't you just tell it not to restart?
There's no buttons. There's just one that says restart now.
He overloaded the computer.
Don't hit restart now.
I'm not gonna hit restart now. But it says it's giving me a countdown. Oh boy.
Is that a Mac?
No, it's a stupid not Mac, which I
see. Mine always says, "Hey, you need to restart. Do you want to do it in 30 days, or do you want to do it?"
I hit 120 minutes, and it. Oh boy. So yeah, Cyclone Wrestling beating up on Iowa. I'm sorry, Trav.
The first thing I think of with the story, Trav, is the impact it has possibly on the future for Iowa. Because the first story you guys talked about when this happened the next day on air was about the coaching of Iowa, how it could change.
Does it put Tom Brands on the hot seat, right?
Yes. And so I think that's why this is easily a top 10 Iowa sports story of 2025, because of the impact it possibly could have. Not only just because of it being a historical win for Iowa State, but this could be a loss for Iowa where we look back in 5 years and be like, yeah, that was the final straw for brands.
It certainly felt like a title change moment. For Hawkeye wrestling fans, you've seen Iowa State closing the gap while struggling to close the gap on Penn State at the same time. And that some fans saw this coming. Some of my buddies that are wrestlers and that are wrestling fans, and they called this. They said, hey, this is the year, by the way. And there was a debate, and you had Hawkeye fans that were still like, no, there's still a little ways away. It was a little bit of a title change moment. It certainly felt to me when we started to put the top 10 list together, this was another one that I was like, this has to be on the list because of the conversations that came from it, Justin. That's a good point. This might be the one that we look back on and go, that was the moment when we knew that that Brands wasn't the guy anymore. It certainly helped announce Kevin Dresser's arrival too. We've known that he's a great coach for a while. We've seen this program coming back and closing that gap. I think that has to be one of those milestones. We always talk about this with like Jim Harbaugh. When Harbaugh got hired at Michigan, they had levels. One of them was beat Ohio State.
That's a good way to put it.
The other one was win a national title. And I would almost think that Jamie Pollard at some point had that conversation with Kevin Dresser and said, I'd like you to beat Iowa. Yeah, I'd like you to go out and compete for a national title, and I'm going to do what I can to help you close the gap on KO because I understand that's an ocean between us and them. But one of those benchmarks would be beat Iowa. Check.
I love what Scott says. Scott must be a newbie to the show because we talked about this, and I don't mean to cover your face, Justin, but the Iowa State doesn't lost and put them on the hot seat, LOL. Depending on what they do in March, we'll put them on the hot seat. Well, I can tell you what they're going to do in March. They're going to finish second, third, or fourth. Okay? That's what's going to happen. And there's a wide gap between 1 and 2 right now. And you can say that's across the board. Iowa's a different beast. Iowa is what we expect out of Iowa wrestling is what Alabama expects out of its football team. Right? Is that fair to say?
I said that I said after this meet that it seemed to me like Iowa wrestling was a bit like Nebraska football.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it.
Man, if you would listen to the show sometimes, I drop some really good stuff from time to time.
You're a smart guy. I worry about your computer shutting down all the time.
It's going to happen in 36 seconds.
Is that right? Yeah. He's just going to disappear? Hey, don't forget. Coming up on Friday, it's going to be the weekly woohoo from the Iowa Lottery. Your chance to pick up a prize pack worth $90. Our prize pack's going to change next week, but this will be the final one to get the Holly Jolly holiday-themed scratch tickets, 7 holiday scratch tickets, 2 Instaplay tickets, part of the Play It Again promotion in the gift that keeps on winning. You must be a VIP club member to enter your non-winning tickets into this promotion. If you're not a VIP, sign up for free today at the iowalottery.com or iowalottery.com/VIP. I want to see if this thing shuts down. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
He literally just shut down.
The soundboard broke his iHeart computer he stole.
It's amazing. I'm gonna take him out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 coming up of our top Iowa sports stories of 2025. Next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Bad gift giving. It happens to the best of us.
Thanks, I think.
But what if I told you there's a better way? Toss the silly socks and ditch the mediocre mugs because the Iowa Lottery's gift that keeps on winning is here to save the holidays. Give your loved ones holiday scratch tickets with a chance to win instantly or unwrap your share of $1 million. Say no, no, no to boring presents with the Iowa Lottery this holiday season.
Woohoo!
Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
This December, unwrap big savings at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We've got our largest inventory of vehicles ever. New, pre-owned, and now Car Bravo certified. The gifts keep coming with the season's most sought-after Chevys, the Trax, and the all-new Traverse, in stock right now and ready to drive home for the holidays. And don't miss the red tag sale with 0% APR financing on select models. It's a perfect time to slay your savings. Hurry into Willis Chevrolet of Granger or visit us online at willischevy.com.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hey, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. This holiday season, give the gift of sparkle that lasts a lifetime. From our latest designs to timeless favorites, there's something for everyone on your list. Already have a Fiscus diamond? Bring it in and trade up with our 100% trade up program. It's the perfect way to shine a little brighter this year. And if you're dreaming up something custom, get your design started by December 1st for Christmas delivery. Let's make this season magical together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner at Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. Whoop. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Hi everyone, it's Marion with Willis. Christmas is coming up and that means traveling to see your family. You can't see your family if you can't see the road, and you can't see the road with old wiper blades. So come on down to Willis to get $10 off a set of wiper blades with the purchase of an oil change for the whole month of December. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our family, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org. What? I don't know what's going on with Ross.
I don't either. Do we need to do a moment of silence for him?
There he is. Oh, hold on. There we go. I got to get the order right.
What's going on now? I can't hear you guys.
I hear you.
Well, it sounds like he's not connected to his microphone.
This is the StreamYard thing. Watch this.
Yeah. You gotta go into settings, and then audio.
Watch him just multitask. Try to get on the air.
Oh, nope. Something popped up he wasn't ready for. Did you see his eyebrows?
Yeah.
On that one? He's concerned.
Well, he still has his headphones in, which means he's plugged into his and he doesn't have his Rode hooked up to his other computer. He just needs to use the speaker off the laptop. We do things different here, folks. We do them different here. Not saying it's a well-oiled machine. I put graphics together. We actually spent time producing this.
We had sound effects.
Sometimes
too many that we wanted to hear.
Yeah. All right. We're going to dive back into the we got 5 through 1 to go. And apparently people haven't liked our 10 through 6. I don't think it's a bad list.
I don't either.
Either do I. I mean, we actually had a long conversation about this. All right, number 5. Are you ready? Here it is. The ISU transfer portal. Now, and trust me, this went from like number 1 to number 2 to number 3. It kept going down because we talked. I think we did more than anything, talked ourselves into moving this down because we were afraid of recency bias. Obviously, this is a major, and people say this needs to be much higher on the list. I get it. And I think there's another story coming up that leads to where this is. You're right. I actually had dreams about this one last night, Justin. Ross,
Really?
are you with us or not?
Yeah, I got you. I can hear you. Guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
You sound good.
I actually had dreams about this last night, waking up going, do we need to move this higher up? Did we screw? If there's one that I might be going, we screwed up, but I'm going to stick with it at number 5, it's this one because it is a major story. Totally understand it. I think we all went, are we dealing with recency bias here? And we don't know what the outcome is going to be for next year. We can assume what it's going to be. But I understand why people are going, oh, my God, how is this not number 1?
60 players, right, that are gone, 42 in the transfer portal?
What are they down to, like 17 players left?
I don't know. I think I saw either Bloom or Williams post that number is inaccurate. Okay. And there are some things to change. Either way, whatever the specifics of it are, the tone of the conversation is true. The transfer portal has rocked Iowa State in a way, and really the story could have really been how the transfer portal has rocked the state of Iowa sports, but it is Iowa State. They're the ones that congressmen are talking about. The U.S. government is thinking about getting involved, and they're tweeting out pictures of Iowa State to signify how impactful this can be. It's an incredibly big story, and it's going to have ripple effects for years. Travis, it could be, man. It's funny that you had a dream about it. Then that tells me we should have moved this up. Because as you say this, when we go a couple of years in the future and we look back at what the top stories of 2025 are, that's why I think Fran being in that list is I'm good with that. That's why I kind of like some of our high school stuff because they are kind of historic things. When we look back, this will probably be the one thing we remember from 2025. This and another one. That's tight.
Well, I think there's what we probably should have done, and again, I'm going to stick with it because we all agreed. I mean, we had a pretty good discussion. We probably should have switched number 3 with number 5.
I have to look at our list now and see what that is.
I sent you a long list yesterday.
I have. I just said I have to go ahead and look at the list. Yeah, you're right. We could have, but that we'll blame Justin.
Yeah, we'll blame Justin.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
my argument for putting this at number 5 is that I'm a Drake Bulldog fan, and I'll say first time you guys are going through this as Cyclones, losing a coach and losing everybody. First time.
But this is a little different.
Totally different. It's very different.
Yeah.
Because like we said, the number, even though it's not accurate, it has to be up in that number. We would have to believe. I mean, it is, that whole entire program is a shell of itself.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's say Jimmy Rogers wins 8 games next year. This story would take a much different tone and I'm not saying he's going to win 8 games, but if he does,
and who says he won't? I mean, we'd have no idea what this team is going to look like next year. Give it time. We'll see. But right now, the fact that you have that this story has gone absolutely national and that this might change college football. This might be the thing that somebody finally steps in and says, I know the answer, and then screws it up even more. But this story might actually change college football. And so therefore, I think you're right, Trav. If there's one we probably ranked too low, it'll be this one, but there's a wait and see. And man, there was just so much. This isn't even really, we tried to stick to moments, like a moment that happened. And I know we talked about the 7 straight titles, but you win one title, and when you win that title, it's your 7th straight. This has been, the transfer portal has seemed like a moment, even though it's been drug on for a couple weeks now.
Number 4 on our top 10 sports stories in the state of Iowa for 2025, Ben McCollum takes the Iowa basketball job. This was big. We had Fran getting fired. Leading up, even before Fran got fired, there was talk of Darren DeVries taking the Iowa job. And then you're like, would Beth Getz take a chance on somebody who had very limited Division I experience? He was at Northwest Missouri State. We knew he was an Iowa guy, but you come to Drake, you win 31 games at Drake, and you go, okay, is that still enough to propel you to the Iowa job? So you had other people being mentioned as we kind of knew Fran was on the way out, and we thought for sure it was going to be D-Rock. And then you're like, okay, well, D-Rock takes the Indiana job. Who else would be out there? And it all worked that Ben McCollum was the perfect fit, right? And you can see it today. And I know they've beaten some good teams. They competed with Iowa State. There's still more to see when they get into Big Ten. But I think when you look at the trajectory and the potential of Ben McCollum at Iowa, we're going to look back at this as being a home run hire. That's just my prediction.
I think you're right as well. He's hit all the buttons so far. He's fired up the fan base again. Justin said it earlier. He's connected with the fan base in 12 games in a way that Fran McCaffrey didn't in his entire time in Iowa City. Travis, you really hit the nail on the head with one of us. Ben McCollum is one of us, and that's what we love as fans. Why do Iowa State fans love TJ Altenberger? The minute the door opened, why did they love him? He's one of us. He loves us. Ben McCollum wanted to be the Iowa head basketball coach. He gets to be that. You see these childhood dreams come true, and then you've got success behind it. This is. I'm with you. I think this is great. I'm really excited about the future of Hawkeye basketball, like I haven't been since I was a little kid. And they hired Steve Alford, and I thought, he's the Lincoln Riley, right? We got the hot next young thing that's going to change college basketball and be he can't lose.
I think
Ben McCollum more than I have been, and Iowa basketball more than I have been, maybe in my entire life as an adult.
One of my favorite parts about Ben is how he's responded to the issues of Iowa basketball, talking constantly in press conferences about how he wants to get the fans fired up, how he expects the fans to pack Carver and on their feet. Like covering that Iowa Bucknell game, that was one of the first comments he made. After that, of like, Des Moines was great. We would love to play at the Casey Center again, but we want to get these fans to Carver and get them standing and hyped up. That's one of my favorite parts, is that he's not shying away from things that people have criticized with the Iowa Hawkeye program.
And the reason Ben McCollum is at Iowa is our number 3 story in the top 10 stories, and that's Drake wins an NCAA tournament game. Now, and let's kind of put this all in perspective. Drake won 31 games during the season, and they won their first round game because, remember, when D-Rock won the play-in game, that's not considered the first round. It was their first round win since 1971. Ben McCollum's maybe not going to Iowa if he doesn't win 31 games and doesn't get that NCAA tournament first round win.
Yeah.
No, that was one of the most special moments I think I've ever seen live. Like, just a diehard Drake fan. I never thought, I'd see 3 straight Missouri Valley Conference titles, but let alone a NCAA tournament win. I mean, after 2008, when Ty Rodgers hit that buzzer beater, you were kind of like, that was our chance. And then a couple of times with D-Rock, you're so close, but just couldn't finish at the end. That was an incredible season and historic win, and put that as a top 3. I have no issue with that. Not just because I'm a Bulldog fan, but because of the history of it all.
So there you go.
I packed the kids up and drove to Wichita to watch them play.
Yes, you did.
In that second round matchup. And it was awesome. I loved it. Had a great time with the kids. Had a great time going down there and cheering on the Bulldogs. It's really cool to see my hometown team get national prominence and recognition like that. And big thanks to all that were involved that helped to make that thing happen. I'm with huge story. It's funny because I'm sitting here watching the chat, Trav. I had one of those moments I told you we were going to have where people fire something in and I go, oh my God, I can't believe we missed it. And that happened in my brain for a second when somebody said the college gambling scandal has to be one of these top two. And I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't even throw it. That was 2024. That was 2024 that happened. That's why we didn't have that in the list. But I did have a moment of like, how did we forget? That was a huge national story.
But it didn't happen in 2025.
It didn't happen in 2025.
In the state of Iowa, you had some gambling stuff that happened in college in 2025, but these are Iowa stories. And people now are saying, well, the list is growing on them. I think, and when you say, hey, Ben McCollum's number 4, but he's not at number 4 unless number 3 happens. Would you both agree with that? That if he doesn't have 31 wins and wins an NCAA tournament game, he's probably not the pick of Beth Getz.
And I think that you see that sequential line of thinking. It'll lead you into the top of our list here as well.
Number 2 on the top sports stories according to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Kirk Ferentz is now your Big Ten all-time winningest coach, surpassing Woody Hayes. Major accomplishment. I mean, it was one of those records that a lot of people thought wasn't going to happen. He did it by being consistent, being true to himself. Sure, you're not a national player, should we say, but when you pass a guy like Woody Hayes and you look at the number of great coaches that have gone through the Big Ten since Woody Hayes, to be able to last 27 years, to be able to put the wins together, this was a major milestone that he hit.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's the culmination of decades of consistent success that you recognize. That we have so many differing opinions on Kirk Ferentz, but I do think that there's one overall, the respect for Kirk Ferentz. You never hear anybody say, just fire off with, we need to fire Kirk Ferentz. It almost always starts with, man, I love Coach Ferentz and everything he's done for the University of Iowa, but there is that familiarity thing that we talk about all the time on this program. And Kirk Ferentz, to have this success in such a tumultuous world, to fight off the few defectors that he had over those years, it's an incredible accomplishment and something that does deserve. And I'm really happy it happened for my favorite university, the University of Iowa, because this is a neat thing to have been a witness to.
And two, Ferentz hasn't really had any sort of off the field issues. I mean, you had, what was that, 2020
Rabdo.
with the...
You had Rabdo.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal.
But it wasn't like him personal. Like, it wasn't him. It was Rabdo as the main part, correct?
Well, it's
it was the workout that he put the guys through as part of a punishment thing that was, yeah. Listen, I would think that the Coach Doyle stuff, the allegations of racism, he's had some stuff. He's had some defectors. He's had some challenges that have been thrown his way that could have at any point been the stumbling block that tripped it up. And we could be talking about Iowa's 7th coach in the last 8 years or whatever, we could be in one of those situations. And that's why it's impressive.
And number 1 on the sports list of the top sports stories, according to the Rush Radio Show in the state of Iowa in 2025, there it is. Matt Campbell leaves Iowa State for Penn State. And this is huge for a number of reasons. Because this is probably why we put the portal at number 5. It's because him leaving contributed to that. I mean, you could have lumped that all into one, but you're talking about a guy that had been at Iowa State for 10 years, had changed the entire trajectory of the program, the expectations of the program, got to, the Fiesta Bowl and won, and did all sorts of things. but Matt Campbell leaving and the effects that it had. So we're going to point this backwards towards number 5 is the number 1 sports story in the state of Iowa.
That's why I think this is number 1, because this is what kicked off the thing that we were all thinking maybe should have been ranked higher than number 5. And this is why I think that the recency bias actually affects how people look at that Iowa State win over Purdue and push it down the list farther than it deserves to be. It's a historic win for an Iowa athletic program. And it's forgotten because it was the 3rd biggest story of that weekend. And it was a top 10 story for the year in our mind. And that's all because we talked about how in 5 years we'll look back and say, what was the biggest story? This transfer portal thing very well could be. If it turns out to be the death nail that a lot of people think it's going to be, or it's going to impact this Iowa State program for years or a decade, the way that some people think it will, then we'll look back and say the transfer portal was the number 2 story. Why? Because it wouldn't have happened without this.
That whole day felt like I was a part of a movie, a documentary. Because I remember I was covering the UAB Drake game that night, and the news hadn't broke yet. And everyone in the Knapp Center is staring down constantly, like checking their phones. You can hear murmurings the whole game. And then as soon as it broke, it was everyone coming up to you being like, did you see? Did you see? And then the shots from, the TV stations of him walking back from his meeting with Pollard, the pictures of his meeting with Pollard, it was crazy. It was probably something. I don't think this is hyperbole to say that's a sports moment in Iowa I won't forget.
Yeah. Do they build a statue of Matt Campbell in Ames? Does he eventually get
it? No, dude. It's all in the way dude, the end of the book matters. You can't just erase the last couple of pages, which are and right now, no, dude. Give it a couple of years and let's see what happens at Penn State. Let's see what happens with this program. Dude, if Iowa State wins 4 football games next year, there ain't no way. Jimmy Rogers is able to come in and pick up the pieces and move forward, and they get I said this to you guys a couple of hours ago before we went on the air. You know what Iowa State need next year? What Jimmy Rogers needs? A couple of great players that make some great plays and give some great highlights and give fans hope and see something for the future. Now, if they win 8-9 games next year, oh man, then it's on. Then what we're mountain out of a molehill. Hell, this guy can do it. And then if things fall apart, if they win 4 games next year and they don't get those things, there's not a lot of hope and there's not a lot of hype and there's just not a lot of love. Travis, no way. People will remember Matt Campbell almost like Hawkeye fans remember Steve Alford in a way.
Boy, that's a slam.
I'm not kidding you. I think their lip curls a little bit. That's what I don't mean it like in the scandal. I shouldn't have compared those two because of 2 totally different guys. What I'm trying to say is that feeling you get in your mind. We just had this conversation about Hawkeye basketball coaches, right? And where you would rank them and all that. You don't even mention that guy because it kind of gives you that like.
I purposely left Alford off that list because I knew I'm like.
Curls your lip, and I'm not saying that's going to happen. We got to see how this plays out. What I'm saying is there is a potential that in the next couple of years, when people mention Matt Campbell, they go, he gave us good times, but the way he left, the way he just destroyed the program. I shouldn't have mentioned the Alford thing. I know that's apples and oranges. I'm just trying to relate to that feeling you get when you hear a former coach that you don't like. That when I think of the Yankees, I'm still not a Roger Clemens or Wade Boggs or a Aroldis Chapman fan. Those guys all were great for the Yankees, and I go, curl my lip. Will Cyclone fans do that with Matt Campbell? I'm not saying they will. I'm saying there's a potential that they will.
And the truth is, and he's going to get the blame for dismantling the program. The rules today in place have dismantled the program. I mean, because you go back.
Absolutely.
And Iowa State won't be the only one that this happens to. I mean, it happened to Florida State a couple years ago after they went undefeated and got pushed out of the college football playoff. It happened to Florida State. You just look at it and go, how fast can you recover? So that was our top 10. I only saw 2 up there that Ross, that people threw up there that didn't even make our honorable mention. One was the UFC to Des Moines.
Oh my gosh, you're right. There you go. I knew there would be something.
I don't know if that would have been a top 10. I don't know if that would have been a top 10.
I don't think it would have been top 10, but it definitely should have been in our honorable mention. I mean, it was Des Moines on a national or worldwide spotlight.
We can put them in the honorable mention now.
Good idea.
Yeah, you're in the and I saw this one too. Was the Major League Baseball game being announced for Dyersville again? And I'm like,
yeah. Again, the first one to me that would have made the list back in what was that 2023 when that would have made the list.
Yeah.
I don't think so anymore. And like a lot of people were like, well, what about we've seen Knoxville again because we talked about Knoxville in the honorable mention show yesterday. When it's an annual event, it just makes it harder for us to it kind of lost a little bit of the
That
rank.
was the reason we didn't put the Iowa State football one.
Yeah.
Was because it was annual.
And really, we just made this list to piss you off and react.
ChatGPT told us.
Yeah, and the truth is we didn't. I actually thought we put more time and effort and discussion into the list. We could have just easily just picked the list. And sure, and I realize how hard it is really to rank something. I mean, you start justifying in your mind, and then you start, recency bias, all this stuff. And then the portal, but I think the reason we put the portal at number 5 is because we knew that Matt Campbell was going to be number 1, and that's still a byproduct of Matt Campbell taking that Penn State job. Yeah. And so
this was fun, Travis. Thanks for doing it. And I want to make it a concerted effort to, and maybe listeners can help us with this. We could cultivate a list all year long. There's no reason that each month we can't say, all right, what were the biggest stories here in January? What did we talk about most? And then we can go through, at the end of the year, we can look back on it in a couple of different fashions. Because, again, some of these stories we didn't even talk about at all.
Yeah, Johnston and Don Bosco, we didn't talk about.
Never mentioned.
But I think in the state of Iowa, and people are going to disagree. I know people didn't like them, and that's fine. It's our list, and you can disagree, but you do have to recognize that those are pretty big stories, and from a dominating standpoint, you're like, damn. And I really didn't even know about them. Start doing the research. You're like, oh, that's worthy of being up there. And when we threw them all on a wall, and those 2 made the cut pretty fast. I mean, because I said, hey, if you guys think something should be out, let me know. And he did that. So
Austin says, this is just Ross talking about plans he won't follow through with again. Because, that is what I do a lot, Austin. Thanks for noticing.
He'll blame it on his computer.
No, I'm blaming it on you. I'm going to blame it on you already. So help me out with this, okay? Throughout the year, we're going to try to keep track of the biggest stories, biggest moments, that sort of thing. Awesome.
All right, Trav, you hear that? You and we got to keep track of stories.
I know. We got to do more. Not let our computers restart.
Did I
halfway through a show?
Did I miss any of the show?
A little bit.
Yeah, you did. At one point, you weren't back when we came back. We just had an empty chair, and then
why'd you come back to break so early?
I didn't. The break's the break. The break is the break. Hey, the Iowa football team kicks off at 11 o'clock against Vanderbilt today. Ross and I are going to be back right after the game with the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. We don't want you to miss it. Justin, thanks for hanging out for 2 hours with us today. We appreciate it.
Buddy.
And thank you, everybody who listens and watches. You make this show possible. Happy New Year, everybody. Celebrate safe. We'll see you after the Iowa game on the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Bye-bye.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby here at Willis Volvo Cars. Costco is back for the holidays, up to $2,000 off select vehicles. There's $3,000 in winter savings. There is so many great programs. There are such great lease incentives. You got to get down here and check it out. So check us out online at willisvolvocars.com or stop on down to the showroom. Great selection, great people. You'll be glad you did.
Gift giving. It happens to the best of us.
Thanks, I think.
But what if I told you there's a better way? Toss the silly socks and ditch the mediocre mugs, because the Iowa Lottery's gift that keeps on winning is here to save the holidays. Give your loved ones holiday scratch tickets with the chance to win instantly or unwrap your share of $1 million. Say no, no, no to boring presents with the Iowa Lottery this holiday season. Woohoo! Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the champagne of bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.